Hi, I'm Camila. I'm here to tell you about the exciting aquatic events that are part of the Olympic Games. They include swimming, diving, synchronized swimming, and water polo. In diving to the Olympics, you learn their history in the Games, hear interviews about athletes' stories and hopes for the Olympic Games, and get to know some interesting facts. Hope you enjoy your dive into the Olympics. Have all four aquatic sports been into the Olympics since the beginning? No, swimming was the original aquatic sport, as it was in the first Olympic Games in 1896. Although it has been there the longest, it has also gone through a lot of changes since then. For example, women weren't allowed to compete in swimming until 1912. Another big difference is that they didn't use swimming pools back then. Instead, all of the events in the water took place in rivers, seas, and lakes. In the Paris Olympics in 1900, they swam in the River Seine. It wasn't until 1908 until the first pool was built in London for the Games.
The water cube pool is close to 10 feet deep. That's 3 feet deeper than the pools of the past. It's also 2 lanes wider, with no one actually swimming in those outside lanes. There are slotted gutters so that waves drain before splashing back, and the lane lines that separate swimmers are called wave eaters. The goal is water as flat and clear as possible despite the churning swimmers create, says Christine Brennan, an Olympics columnist at USA Today.
Another evolution in the history of Olympic swimming would have to be the suits they wore. Originally, swimmers wore full-body suits that were materials such as wool or silk. They were this type until the 1940s, when they realized that these materials did not help the swimmers' speed. At that point, man-made materials were produced for the suits. Nowadays, companies like Speedo help create the best swimwear to reduce friction and increase speed. Athletes swim for different strokes. These include the backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle. Winners have good technique, are able to turn quickly, and are able to make a fast start. The events are organized based on distance of the swim and which strokes you do in them. You do freestyling relays and all 4 strokes in the individual medley and medley relays. There are 34 swimming events in London, with half being for men and half for women. Although competitive diving has taken place since the 18th century, it has added to the Olympics in 1904. Before the Olympics, most divers practiced by jumping off bridges or scaffolding. Modern diving boards didn't come around until much later. Because of this, diving was known for being very dangerous and was kept from the games for a while. It was known as fancy diving at first, because of the stunts many people attempt while jumping. In the 2012 Olympics, the event either take place with a board that is 3 meters above the water or a platform 10 meters high. From there, the swimmer chooses from 6 different types of dives, which are forward, reverse, back, twisting, inward, and arm stand. There are also different types of body positions too. Judges give the diver a score of 1 to 10, which is based on the technique of the 4 parts of their dive. These include the starting position, the takeoff, the dive, and entering the water. Who knew jumping could be so complicated? Water polo was actually added to the Olympics in 1900. Its history goes back to a much earlier time. It began in India when people began to play rugby football in rivers and streams. The English later named the game polo after the Indian word pulu, which means ball. The game became modernized when they replaced the ball with a rubber one and moved the location to swimming pools instead of bodies of water. Synchronized swimming first started with guys who were practicing competitions that involved saving the lives of people who were drowning. Later on, when people realized the grace and beauty that the sport could have, women started to join it. Their bodies are actually more fit for the sport because they float easier than boys do. However, it wasn't included into the Olympics until 1984. I hope you've enjoyed the brief story of aquatics. Soon you'll get to hear from some athletes and get to know a little bit more about the rules of the sport. See you then!